Hi, aspiring authors. We are back for day 5, which is really, really cool. We've been going all week, which is really exciting. Some of you have had so many conversations with me. I feel like I have a newfound insight to what you've been thinking about in terms of your children's book. There are quite a few of you that are actually looking to do children's books, which are really, really exciting and really, really cool. There was, I think, 2 of you that want to do business books and 2 of you that want to do spiritual books. And then a few of you have been thinking about different kinds of books, so fiction, non-fiction, interesting times. And some of you just emailed me, said you'll be in touch with me in a few weeks, which is really, really cool. Now, once again, I know that, sometimes I have to fly solo with these online recordings, because it is one of those things where I think so many of us are trying to get so much done online now as we progress into this next stage of our lives and this season, given everything that is happening out there. So today, day number 5, today's topic is personal branding and impact. Now, before we get into that, this is a very short video because I've spoken to quite a few of you, which has been cool. And those of you that haven't spoken to me, you have said to me via email that you'll be in touch with me, and I've given you my calendar, so calendar booking link. So please take the time to click on that link and book a time to chat with me. It's 30 minutes. It's complimentary. I'd love to hear from you and hear more about your book and your idea and the vision and the big why do you want to write a book, because that's big for me. Now, before we get into today's topic, I just wanted to cover off or remind you and get you to start reflecting on what we have covered so far. So day 1, we covered the backstory of your book, and we're talking about the purpose and the why. On day 2, we covered the content of your book. So what are you going to be strategically positioning in terms of your book? So that's really, really important. Day 3, marketing your book. So we were talking about social media marketing, offline marketing, and through your networking and joint ventures and different other things for you to really strategically position yourself. Marketing your book, but also your personal brand. And then from there, we were talking about day 4, which was yesterday. We spoke about monetizing your book. And I directly mentioned to you, I said, if you're just looking to sell 50 or 100 books, well, then as a result of paying to self-publish your book, you're not going to make any money. So I made a bold claim. And I think a few of you went, oh, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that, but that is just the honest truth. So that said, I wanted to today take this opportunity to talk to you about personal branding and impact. So it's a twofold process. Again, these calls are short. They're meant to get you to start thinking differently. And that's why it's called a 5-day writer challenge, right? It's not called a workshop, it's called a writer challenge. And the sole purpose of this challenge over the last 5 days is to get you to start thinking about your book and actually giving yourself some time to write every single week or every single fortnight. So that's really, really important that you do that. Super important, because if this is a priority for you, then obviously you're going to give yourself that time to write. So today, personal branding and impact. Now, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory about myself first, because when I started out in business, I didn't have a checklist, if I was completely honest. I had some really strong skills coming into the business. So I came from a corporate background, 9 years in corporate superannuation, done a lot of exams related to finance, and I suppose coaching and leadership came naturally to me because of the role that I was in, because I was managing people. As somebody, in a semi-leadership customer service role, because obviously I dealt with customers firsthand, and our customers were, I mentioned it before, I worked in a superannuation company, and one of the funds that I worked on was Legal Super. So I did deal with a lot of people within the trustee office, but also barristers and solicitors. And dealing with them meant I always had to be on top of my game. So the way I showed up to deliver something in person and how I delivered something over the phone meant that I was always having my A game on. There was no room to be on game B or game C, because if I did, I would have got called into the office and gone, what's going on? Please explain yourself. Like, you're not hitting the standard that we have set out as a company, as an organization, as a particular fund that is being administered to these people. You don't have your, you're not stepping up. So I suppose 9 years in corporate, I didn't always start there. For those of you that are going, oh, you've had a very successful 9-year career. No, no, no. When I started out my career, I actually started off in the mailroom. So I literally, for 6 months, when I got the job, I literally opened mail from 7 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon, and I sorted it into pigeonholes. I was new in Australia, and that was the first job I got, and I absolutely took it with open hands, because I was like, I want to be employed, I want to learn, I want to step into the atmosphere that I have, embarked on, because I was new in the country, and I did this job while I was actually studying fashion designing, but I never ended up pursuing fashion designing as a career. Rather, I started it out very quickly as a business, but I kind of wrapped it up very quickly as well. But that's another story for another time. Yeah. So when I stepped into business 7.5 years ago, I stepped in with quite a lot of leadership skills, a lot of communication skills, team management skills, and great customer service. Did I step in with business skills? Absolutely zero. And I've said this before through this training, I do not have a degree in business or marketing or sales. I have real life experience running a business through many different challenges. And yes, I do feel them. If you're thinking, oh, she shows up, she delivers it, she doesn't feel things. No, 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 I do. But the purpose of me sharing this very personal side of me is for me to show you that when I show up to deliver as a business owner, as an author, as a speaker, as a radio presenter, I'm showing up as a person, and that is my personal branding. So often what happens is, with a lot of authors and a lot of people that want to build a speaker profile, want to make an impact, they have this fear. One is fear, and I'm not going to sit here and coach you on how to overcome fear. That's a whole other segment. Again, let's have a conversation about that. But for the purpose of this particular delivery is, I wanted to remind you that when you show up as an author, as an aspiring speaker that is going to take to the platform and deliver your book, and from there build a personal brand and go on to impact, you might start off with 10 people and then a few hundred and then thousands. What you need to remember is you need to always show up authentically, honoring yourself. Personal branding 101, as much as, as a person, as somebody who, talks about personal branding as an author and as a publisher and a speaker, yes, there are some key things you need to stay on point. Absolutely. I'm going to agree with that. But very early on in my business life, I realized that I needed to show up authentically to me. So what does Samantha stand for? What does Samantha love? What are her core values? And then I take that into, I suppose, a design process and kind of go, that's how I'm going to show up, to make sure that I'm being authentic to me. So when you get me, whether you get me in on a stage presenting to you as an author or a speaker, or you see me at an event, or you might see me with my children at a shopping center, I'm still being me. Now, yes, if you saw me at a shopping center with 2 children, I'm probably a bit more mindful of, making sure that they're with me and they're not running off and getting distracted. So I probably, don't have my business hat on, but I am very much present and I'm authentically showing up to the best of my ability in that moment. So there are times where, people will catch me off guard and I'm, running to get some bread and milk. And it's like, yep, I just showed up in my casual pants and a t-shirt or a jumper, whatever. But overall, from a personal branding view, visually, I show up authentic to me. And this was something that I learned very early on, I think probably about 6 or 8 months into business, when I started going out and doing a lot of consultancy through my other business, which is Platform for Success. I was going out and doing a lot of consultancy work, and I was still wearing my corporate clothes. So for the women that are listening to this, back then I had to wear the black pencil skirt, the shirt tucked in, and the heels, right? That was like my go-to, given especially because I represented a fund that we were dealing with barristers and solicitors. There was a look that I had to portray, and that look kind of became my way of life because I didn't know any different. I was in it 5 days a week, and that's what I had in my wardrobe. But if you ask me what kind of person I am, I'm a jeans and a top kind of person. Yeah. And when I dress up, then I like the nice dress and the heels and do my hair and, a bit of makeup and stuff. But overall, I'm just a jeans kind of person. And in summer, I just have a very casual summer dress. So visually, I like simple, very basic, like a minimalist lifestyle. I have a very minimalist lifestyle, and I portray that visually from a personal branding as well. So there's not a lot of clutter. You can walk into my home anytime and literally you will go, everything's in its spot. There's not a lot of stuff. If you did find something on the ground, I can assure you it is my 7-year-old's Hot Wheels cars, and they keep showing up in random places. But overall, minimalist lifestyle, a very few tones and colors that I absolutely love. If you haven't picked up a particular color I love through this presentation, then that would be a concern. But if you know me personally, you'll notice that my glasses are Tiffany, and I try to get very close to a Tiffany branding color through my font. If you've not picked up on that, then you do now. But overall, from a personal branding visual, I show up using a few very strong colors, and I run with that. Dressing up visually, when I present, I'm generally always in black pants or black jeans and a very simple top, simple chain. I don't have a lot of jewelry or anything like that. I just show up in a certain way. So from a branding point, what I am asking you to think about is, how do you show up? When somebody thinks of you as an author, as a business owner, what do they recollect back to? What do they visually see when they think of you? Is it an environment? Is it an object? Is it your dress style? Is it a dress style? Is it the way you present? Some accessories? I want you to start thinking of these and actually start making notes. So open up a Word document on your notebook and call it personal branding. Who am I? What do I love? So who am I and what do I love? And I want you to start using words that describe you. So words that describe me is, I love a conversation. I love hugs. I love to have very deep and meaningful conversations, so I don't do surface level stuff. So if you ask me how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling like absolute crap on that day, I will say to you, well, I want to say I'm doing good or great, because that's my normal languaging, but today I'm feeling a little bit run down. And I am moving through to embrace the change, because I am going to be feeling great in a few hours. So that would be my languaging style, because I acknowledge what I feel, I embrace it, and then I go, okay, I'm stepping into embracing the difference, the place I want to be. So I'm always looking at, this is where I'm at, I acknowledge it, but I'm working towards getting to that next stage, that one step on top of the other. Yeah. So when it comes to personal branding, as an author, as a speaker, as a business owner, I want you to start thinking about how people hear you and how people see you, and what sort of things would they recollect visually that would represent you. Yeah. So that's one part. And then when we look at the impact side of things, I want you to start thinking about how you are going to make an impact. So using the image, so this is not by any shape or form an exercise for you to go out and go shopping and get professional headshots or any of that. That's not the purpose of this exercise, this writer challenge at all. What I am challenging you to do is to take account of how you show up from a personal branding and what people are thinking, yeah, when they see you, hear you, because you're going to use that. The friendliness, the warmness, the one who loves cups of coffee or tea, or you love to go for walks, whatever those things, those parts are going to help you write your author bio around your interests, your attractions, the things you love to do. You're going to be able to communicate this in a storytelling form when you write your author bio. So when people read your book, they're not just going on the adventure of the story, whether that is a spiritual story, a children's book, they're going to get to know who you are. What do you stand for? What do you love to do? And that's really, really important. And then from the impact side, what I'm going to challenge you to do is over the next few days is to take another piece of paper or another Word document and write 5 things that you want to do that is going to impact individuals or communities, or your local community, or nationally or globally. I want there to be 5 bullet points that you're going to work through. And that way, every time you're writing, you're going to ask yourself, is this book going to support this? Is this book going to support this? And over time, you start to see that when you start dreaming big and you start writing, that you're actually writing for a higher purpose. You're not writing because you have this great idea and you think the book is going to be awesome. You're actually writing to deliver to a platform, because you know that you are designed for greater things. Yeah, that's the sole purpose of this. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm not going to dive into this, as I said, too much, because this can get a bit too heavy and can challenge you a little too much. And because I don't have contact with you on this online call, I want to make sure that you're not, feeling like, oh, this is a bit full on, like I'm not sure kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to say, do the work that needs to be done, and then most importantly, reach out and have a conversation with me. So I've given you my phone number. It's on there. Send me a text and say, hey, Samantha, I'd love to chat to you, or booking your free 30-minute call, and that's bookings.platformforsuccess.com. It will give you my live calendar where you can literally pick a time slot that works for you, pop in your details, and I will give you a buzz. But literally, that's it from me. For those of you that have been a part of this 5-day challenge, thank you so much. I'm very grateful to have you as a part of this inner circle. I'm going to stay connected. Something I do want to say is please reach out and say hello. Don't feel like, even though you're writing this and you're taking notes, that, this kind of ends here. Over this weekend, over the coming weeks, please reach out and say hello. And for those of you that have had the conversation with me already, let's keep talking, because some of those books are intense. Oh my goodness. From business books for small business, Christian books, spiritual books, children's books, amazing stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there, my aspiring authors. I will talk to you very soon. Have an awesome, awesome day, and we will chat soon. Bye for now.